Today, we're going to demonstrate how Engini works with APIs, allowing you to seamlessly connect and integrate with external services using HTTP requests and webhooks. Engini enables real-time communication between systems, making it easy to retrieve, send, and manipulate data across different platforms. Whether you need to automate processes or trigger workflows based on external events, Engini's powerful API tools provide the flexibility to manage everything efficiently without the need for coding. In this tutorial, we'll demonstrate key actions in Engini, including how to send an HTTP request, parse data to make fields accessible and readable for further use. This example demonstrates an HTTP request sent to Salesforce, triggered by a webhook. We fetch a single opportunity from Salesforce and send it with an HTTP request. In the HTTP request action, Engini generates a secure URL, and we use the post method. You can always adjust it to fit your request needs. Engini supports various body types, such as JSON, and offers flexible authentication options to fit any API platform. The opportunity data fetched from Salesforce is sent into the triggered workflow. You can also add headers or queries based on API requirements. Now let's move on to the HTTP request. This is the triggered workflow, which generated the safe-to-use URL we utilized in our HTTP request. The webhook acts as a trigger, meaning it initiates the flow once the request is received. Moving on to further actions, the webhook trigger receives the expected JSON structure from our webhook response, making the data more readable and accessible. After this, we use compose string to display the name of the related customer opportunity. From here, you're free to leverage Engini's wide range of actions and functions to manipulate and use the data as per your requirements. Let's run the first workflow and see how both workflows work together. We can see that the workflow ran successfully. If we examine the HTTP request log, the status code is 200, indicating that everything went smoothly. It's important to note that this is the default successful run, unless an alternative webhook response is configured. Now let's move to the second workflow and see what happened there. In the workflow run details, take a moment to look at the history. We can see that the last run was initiated by the system, and the status is success. Everything went smoothly. Now let's jump into the details to see what happened with our webhook. We can see the opportunity retrieved, along with all its related JSON structure. We used the name field in the compose string action. This means all fields are accessible, allowing you to manipulate the data according to your needs. Now let's present another example, similar to the first one, but this time with a few small additions. The triggered workflow includes the webhook response action to send a customized response. This helps confirm that everything ran smoothly in real time. After receiving the message, we structure the webhook response data so the fields are organized and ready to use later in the workflow. Then, we use compose string to display the received message and confirm that the response data is accessible. Now let's jump into the workflow and see how we use the webhook response action that we added. The webhook response action sends a custom response whenever the webhook is triggered. In this example, we use a 200 status code, which indicates that the request was processed successfully and the response can be returned. You can also choose the response body type based on your needs. Here, we use a JSON formatted body to return structured data from the request. Now let's run our first workflow to see how everything works. The response we received in our request body displays the customized message we initialized in the webhook response action. The parse action structured the response according to our specified format, and through the compose string action, the output field displayed the message. This indicates that our part ran successfully and made the data fields accessible and ready for further use. Moving on to the second workflow, before diving into the details, we can see that the last run was initiated by the system and shows a success status. This means everything ran successfully. In the details, we can see what happened with our webhook response action. The action was processed by the 200 status code, the body was formatted, and the message was sent and displayed in our first workflow.